Hello, my name is Lizette Romero, and I am going to be doing my reflection journal on policy and global citizenship. This week, we did research policies that affect the community that we researched. One of the things that I noticed was the inequities within the senior level and our seniors' inability to access resources. And so that's the policy that I decided to research. But overall, just based on the lesson and the readings, I think global citizenship is a person who is aware of like the wider world and how they have their effect in it. So I just feel that a person that is very well rounded and aware of what is happening is able to understand a broader sense of the issues around and how to create change. One of those things that made me reflect on this was in the article of The Myth of the Culture of Poverty that states the idea that poor people share more or less monolithic and predictable beliefs, values, and behaviors. I just feel that a lot of the people that are targeted in the community that I decided to research fall within this culture of poverty. And it's already embedded that, these people are lacking the resources, therefore, policies need to be made to ensure that these people have access to what everybody else should be able to access based on that. And unfortunately, just based on the poverty levels and the way Los Angeles is structured in the sense of the highest population of people being in poverty, they do fall under this like culture of poverty myth. And it's very unfortunate because that's another thing that a person has to fight against, right? Like we're brought up in this culture that is very underappreciated, underdeveloped, and a youth has to prove their worth, graduate and hopefully leave this community, unfortunately being unequipped to be at that same level, competitive level as other people. So it also made me reflect on that inequity. And then based on the article, Excellence versus Equity, there is a quote that kind of resonated with me, especially with this topic, talking about then how inequity involves the lack of opportunity, whereby the laws and social institutions discriminate against certain people or groups based on a perceived characteristics. Henceforth, those people will be disadvantaged into society. That is pretty much the community that I decided to research. Personally, myself, coming from this community, I did feel like I've had to fight a lot of obstacles in order to be taken seriously in the real world with other people around me having the same type of education. And then me coming to a common understanding that even though I was a graduating senior, I was nowhere near as competitive, or even I wasn't even competitive enough to be at that like average sense as anybody else. So it's me being able to realize that I was underserved, and to making that change and doing what I needed to do in order to ensure that I'd have the quality education that I deserve. Overall, I think this is related to human-centered design because it's all based on an issue, right? A human issue, especially with the lack of resources and with the senior citizen community. It's all about understanding that there's a lack of resources and coming up with a plan and policy to change those and provide those resources for these communities that deserve these basic needs. I feel that this is really relevant to my community because Boyle Heights has so many nonprofit organizations that provide resources for people. Unfortunately, I didn't see enough that provide resources for our senior citizen community. Or maybe I didn't look into a deeper sense of some of the resources that fall under an umbrella and see if it covers some of these resources for senior citizens. But overall, I did have a difficult time finding resources that would be appropriate for our senior community. I feel that I am that much motivated and driven to see like what these organizations, these umbrella organizations here in Boyle Heights, Los Angeles area do, and seeing if they cover some of the resources that would be of benefit to our senior citizens here in the Boyle Heights, Los Angeles area. So upon this knowledge, I would like to take action in the sense of doing more research. Even when I'm conducting my interview, really speaking to this person and asking what are some of the resources that, if they have any, would help this community, that I feel is very important. It's very important for our senior citizens to feel like they have a place to go, feel they have a place to create camaraderie within each other, and do new things. My mother and my aunt are 72 and 82 years old. They are senior citizens here in the Boyle Heights community. They used to be able to were granted access to some of the resources that they would be taken via some sort of like van or transportation. They would be taken to a place where there was other seniors, and they would create community within each other. And unfortunately, I don't see that now. I know that I reflected in my reflection thinking that it was COVID related, but even before COVID, a lot of the resources were being eliminated. So it makes me wonder the why and what can we do to restore some of those resources for this community. Yeah. Thank you.